Okay. All right. So we go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Nikki Moore. If you have not seen me or met me yet, I'm super excited. I'm Ambassador Diamond with the company. And I am really excited to share with you guys a little bit about a millionaire mindset. So this is not action steps. This is not daily tasks that you can do. This is not it work specific growth. However, this really lays the foundation for your success with the company. It lays the foundation for your success with everything. This is really a precursor, and I'm really excited to share. Last night, we were able to have a triple and up Zoom with Pam Souter, and she went over this exercise with us, and it was pretty profound, at least for me, and I know that impacted a lot of other people. There's a lot of chit chat still going around with it, but it really falls in line with so much of what Denise Walsh teaches too, when she talks about her dream life. And you're going to see that a lot of this really coincides with each other. And if you've done any professional development, you're going to see that it really aligns and meshes with that as well too, because it is such a point of interest. It's such a topic because we're really talking about a millionaire mindset. We're talking about getting our head right and aligning our head and our heart with our actions. And that is really going to set the precedence for everything in your life, with your relationships to financial statuses to ownerships of things, vacations, all of the fun stuff, right? So you should have 2 pieces of blank paper. So I want you to start out with 2 pieces of paper. Oops, let me just remind everybody that you can go ahead and mute yourself. Okay. Good idea to just be muted right when you hop on any call. It's always better to be safe than sorry, right? So let's see. Okay. All right. We should be good. Okay, so 2 pieces of paper. The first piece of paper, I want you guys to draw a picture of yourself. Okay? Nobody's going to be looking at this. This is for you. Mine, I did last night. Hello! So I'm tweaking it as I go. Okay, could have made this better, but I want you to draw a picture of yourself, top to bottom. Fill this up. This is a picture of you, okay? So, this beautiful stick figure of yourself. As you're drawing this out, I want you to start thinking about the places that you want to be in your life, the things that you want in your life, okay? So I'm ready to draw this stick figure, and I want you to elaborate on this picture of yourself. Now, it could literally be a stick figure. It doesn't have to be super elaborate. We don't want to spend tons of time getting just your base of your person. Once you get your base of your person, I want you to look at your person, and I want you to start to decorate your person as you want it to be. What are the things that you want from your life? What are the financial goals where you want to be? I want you to start decorating this person as if you have everything how you want it. What are some of the things, some of your goals, some of your wants, some of your ambitions, some of your desires with this business and what it can afford for you? What are some of the things? As you're thinking of that, you can also start to write down some of these attributes, okay? So what do you want? Go ahead and shout some of these things out too. I'll tell you last night some of the things that we saw last night. Some of the things that we saw last night that people were talking about was They wanted beautiful hair, luxurious hair extensions. Somebody said, they're going to be skinnier. They're going to dress better. I mean, I don't know. Put your Gucci belt on. Put your fancy I put my fancy sunglasses on top of my head. Put your eyelashes on there. You want longer eyelashes? Has it been on your board? Like, oh, I would love to get hair extensions or eyelash extensions. There's nothing too silly, whatever it is. Okay. I want you to put a big smile on your face because you've accomplished the goals that you set out for yourself. And start writing around your picture some of these things that you want for yourself. So what is it? What are some of the things that you want for yourself? You want to be debt-free? Where's your dream vacation? Do you want 2 houses? Do you want a beach home? Do you want a mountain home? Do you want a cabin? I have quarterly vacations. How do you feel when you've hit all of the goals that you've set out for yourself? When you are at that place where right now you're thinking, if I could only have XYZ, if I could only be at XYZ, what do you want to make a year? Do you want to make $1 million a year? You want to make $1 million a month? Nothing is too crazy. Nothing is too wild. Nothing is too out there. What are some of these things that you see for yourself? Anybody want to share? Everybody's drawing right now. I know you're drawing. I'll give you a couple more minutes to draw because it's really fun. So
I guess I can share. I'll share mine. Not all of them, but right now we're in the process of getting a new home, and that's something this business can help. Right now, me and my fiance both live in our parents' homes. So this business can help us get a home together, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, yeah. So I imagine that your person looks pretty excited and happy and like it just maybe even a little bit anxious, like, oh my gosh, I get to decorate it how I want to decorate it and get the things that I want for it. Yeah, that's great. So think about what is your goals and what do they mean long-term for you? What do you want them to be? I want you to put them all down. Debt-free, best shape of my life, financial freedom, paying off my kids' college, getting my husband a new boat, a new car for my mom. That's fantastic. I want you to write this all around, and we can borrow each other's ideas. I mean, somebody said something, and I want to make $1 million a year. That's my goal, is to make $1 million a year steady, right? That would be phenomenal. And then somebody said, oh, I want to have $100,000 in savings. What do you want your savings to look like? What do you want your savings number to look like? Put a number down. I mean, I remember years ago, before we even started at Works, we followed a Dave Ramsey program. And I had said, I want $10,000 in my savings. Like, that's when we started. Like, I want 10,000. And then once we finally saved up to have 10,000 in our savings, I was like, our savings is never going to dip below 10,000. I want it to be 20,000. You use it as a stepping stool. What do you want right now? Because you have to put it down in order to see it. To come home to my baby. All right, awesome. I love that. So to retire yourself. That is why I started this business, was so that I could retire myself and be home with my babies. $20 million in retirement. $300,000 a month. Mission trips with my boys. I love it. Holy crapola. $300,000 a month. I love it. Dream big, right? Family Disney cruise. What else did I have? I want an assistant / nanny, full time. I don't need a nanny for my kids full time, but even for me, you know what I mean? Just a right hand man. Maybe that means she's just living here, or she's here X amount of hours, and I can say playing with my kids, and I can be like, I'm gonna go to the grocery store, be back in 2 hours. She's just here, Or if I'm playing with my kids, to be like, hey, can you go to the post office for me? Or can you type up these papers, whatever. So like a full-time assistant slash nanny slash right-hand man. I also put on mine that I'm glowing. You know, you ever see people and they just have that inner happiness, like they just kind of like explode? You know, those people that just jump off the page. I want to be glowing. I just always want to be so happy and content that it just jumps out and infects other people in that way, right? I want to be inspirational. So a lot of like, what do you want internally too? Like, it doesn't have to be like, I want a Gucci belt, I want a Cartier bracelet, I want a Tiffany necklace. It doesn't have to be that. You can put that down if you've like, oh my gosh, I've arrived, I've able to get that Tiffany necklace. If that feels like that to you, then put that down by all means. You know, it can be going on mission trips. It can be giving back X amount every day. I mean, it's your life. It's your vision, okay? Family trips with all 8 kids, I love it. Cleaning lady every 2 weeks. Cleaning lady, huge, yes. I want to pay off my home again. I paid off my first home in 3 years, and then we bought a bigger house, and I want to pay that one off, and I'm not buying a bigger house again. I want to go to Greece. Do you have any vacation places that you want to see? So all of those things, okay? So super, super exciting. Yes. Okay, so put that aside for a minute. You can come back to it. You can come back to it. So put that aside. Pay off my house. Yes. Give my husband. I love that, Esther. Give my husband free golf. Like, hey, go golf whenever you want, babe. Right? Just that is a gift. It's huge. It's huge to say that. Now what I want you to do is I want you to get a second piece of paper, and I just want half. Okay? Just a half size. Okay? Take your half size. And on here, I want you to draw another person. Okay? And again, it can be a full size, person, stick figure, whatever. I want you to draw another person. Except this time, don't give it such lush hair. Don't give it the eyelashes. Don't give it the fake nails or the manicure. In fact, I want a sad face on there. Make him say, like, mine has way shorter hair. She is very sad looking. Even her body is more pathetic because as I was drawing out my happy person, I was perfecting. I thought, oh, I got to give myself a better waist, just give myself a little bit bigger boobs. And, then my small girl, my little girl, she didn't look so happy. So as you're creating this person, I want you to dig in and think about what are the things up to this point that have prohibited you from being this person? What are the things that are stopping you and not letting you be this person? What are your fears? What are the reasons? What are the excuses? Okay? What are your concerns about this? Like, if you have reservations, what is it? Feel unworthy. Thank you. Unorganized. Fearful of what my friends or my family's going to think if I start making money. Sometimes people are really afraid of failing, but people are sometimes really afraid of succeeding too. Yep, that you're not good enough, not a good leader, greedy. Like, really, why would you have to make $300,000 a month? Okay? You don't think $3,000 is a month is enough? Like, there's people starving in this world, right? I mean, is that what's going to hold you back? You feeling greedy? Overwhelmed with family negativity because I'm so positive. Esther, you are a shining beacon for so many, and it's true. People I get so jealous because it forces them to do a self-check. Sorry, not signed up. What is that, Kristen? Can you elaborate? How you pay taxes. Thinking I don't deserve it. I love that. Some other things was unsure of myself. Am I letting my ego get in the way? I used to think for the longest time, like, what if I ask for more and God thinks that I'm not content with what I have, and he's like, well, do you really want to see what I can do for you? Like, and take it all away and be like, what, you weren't happy with this, and so if you're not happy with this, you don't deserve this either. Like, I had that fear for the longest time, which is crazy, because that's not how God operates. He wants us to have abundance. And so we need to live in abundance, and that is really the enemy. So, people won't sign up, and I'll feel like yeah, like, how do I sign people up? Why do people even want to sign up? Who would want to sign up with me? Why would they want to use these products, right? All of these insecurities surrounding it. One of the things too is that I've put, like, I get jealous of other people's success, and then what does that say about me? That, do I deserve that success if I'm going to be jealous and not be happy for other people and their success? Okay. Not good enough. No one's listening. No one cares. Yeah. So these are all the enemy's thoughts. These are all our negative thoughts, So, now that you have it out here, the thing of it is that one of the things that Pam pointed out was that we all collectively feel this way. I mean, if there's nobody out there that feels at least one of these adjectives that has been mentioned on any of these sheets of any of these thoughts, then, I mean, you're in a super, 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 super human great place, right? And just, you're good. But we all were human. That's just the way that we are. And we look to the right and we look to the left. And so really what it comes down to is these are kind of collective thoughts. These are the thoughts that are surrounding all of us, right? And so are we operating and bouncing off of that with each other? We definitely don't want to be in that place where we're sitting here and we're like mourning in this spot. We want to get back to that spot. Now, when you look at your two pictures, put them side by side. I mean, is there a contrast to you? What do you notice between the two? What first jumps out when you're looking at this little sad me and big happy me? Like, one of the things for me when I looked at them two side by side was, holy cow, I gravitate so much to big happy me. Like, that's where I want to live, right? That's where I want to be. I feel like big happy me just jumps out at me and looks like she is enjoying life. I mean, even my picture, I started to add some color to it, and she just looks, I mean, by all means, it's with no amazing portrait here, but she just jumps out at me, and that's where I want to be. That's where I choose to be. It is sad that you can paralyze your dreams. Yes, Esther. That's such a good point. The worst one is that I want it so bad and rocket, and then it comes back crashing on the rocks because others don't want to move. They just want me to do it for them, right? So am I going to find anybody else like me? Am I going to find somebody that wants this business like I want this business? And yeah, you will. Absolutely. So here's where we go from here, is we can recognize that we have these thoughts, we have these insecurities, we have these fears, and we also have these dreams, and we also have these ambitions. And we can 100% live in this big me. We can be in this place. This does not have to be a fantasy. This does not have to be a fictitious place. This can be reality, because it's our mindset that is pushing us to either our big or our little me, okay? So where do you want to live? Do you want to live in the big me or do you want to live in the little me? Where you pick is really, really up to you. So one of the things that I really thought was kind of like pressed upon me is when you're feeling these bad thoughts, when you're feeling this negativity, when you kind of get drowned and you get sucked into this like wave of these negative thoughts, it doesn't feel good, right? I mean, you can feel the heaviness of it. I feel the darkness of it. You know, when I think about being fearful and I think about being jealous and I think about not being good enough and I think about XYZ, it is dark and it pulls me down. And then it reminds me that doesn't have to be my truth. That doesn't have to be your truth at all. And a lot of times we get to decide what our truth is. Well, not a lot of times. We do get to decide what our truth is. But a lot of times I think we're falsely led into that because we get sucked into the enemy's words and that place of starting to compare and getting that comparison trap and just kind of self-wallowing. And so it's so good to keep your eyes set on these positives, keep your mind set on the places that you want to live, on the place that you want to be. So you have to define what your belief is. Define what your belief is. She talked about, which I thought was really interesting, is she brought up Bruce Lipton. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Bruce Lipton at all, but I know Denise is, and I am, and I was like, oh, this is really, really exciting. Because I had just listened to a podcast, or not a podcast, but a YouTube video not too long ago, just probably a couple months ago, and I had taken some notes, and she was talking about this. And so she was talking about our subconscious mind and how that really programs us. It's our subconscious mind. And really so much of our programming is done in like a subconscious hypnosis, kind of like, I think it's that beta state. Is that correct, Denise, the beta? And so that really, like a lot of our belief systems and a lot of our truths that we believe in are framed from the time that we're little until about the time that we're 7 or 8. He talks about if you were to think about coming into our society, and there's so many rules, right, about society, like ways that you act and interact with people and how you treat others and your parents. And so we are kind of like in this beta state from when we're little until we're about 6 or 7, because that's when you learn so rapidly, because you're observing and you're watching the behaviors of your family and the dynamics and how they interact and they engage with each other. And then if you get to go out to society, you go to the grocery store, you go to the restaurant, you go to these places, you're just kind of absorbing all of that kind of stuff, right? So a lot of these beliefs can be really traced back to what were these beliefs, what were these truths that were put into your mind. And so your subconscious can learn in a few different ways. One of them is in this beta state, which is like the subconscious hypnosis state. And then the other way that you can do it is through habituation or repeating it over and over and over again. And so I always think of this when I think about writing out my goals and declaring what I want my income to be and declaring those adjectives and those traits that I want to have for myself. I constantly am thinking to myself, I'm just brainwashing myself into what I want to believe, right? Because where things are going to happen according to our belief system. If we believe that we are broke and we believe that we're broke, unworthy, unhealthy, incapable, how are we going to get through our days? We're going to get through our days pretty broken, okay? Because we're going to have the belief that no matter what we do, it's never right. I'm never lucky. It always happens to somebody else, right? But if our belief system has been cast in that way, we can still break that. We can still break that through that habituation by changing our mindset, by proclaiming this, that, the things that we want out of life. And that's how you hear these stories of when people will come from these horrible, broken, poor family dynamics in poverty, and then they rise up and they do something super amazing, okay? Obviously, that 0 to 7 years of age was not really great for their subconscious programming, okay? And but But what they chose to do is break those rules, break those barriers, and then most of the time go through that habituation by practicing it and telling it to yourself over and over and over and over again. Another way of programming your mind is a traumatic emotional shock, which he says I don't recommend, which, sometimes that does happen to change your programming, but obviously it's not a recommended thing. So, and then another thing is like through energy psychology. And so that's a little bit over our heads right now. But what we can hold on to is really we can look at our belief and we can help to change our belief system. So what is your belief subset about money? How do you feel? Like, what do you think about money? Like, what were you taught about money? Were you taught that money is the root of all evil, that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? Were you taught that money is bad? Were you taught that it's greedy, that you're greedy? Does anybody want to throw things out? What is everybody? You can go ahead and pop it on the chat if you want to. But what are the things that you were taught or that you think about money? What's your belief system? Because if you think it's a limited resource, it's not a limited resource. It's not a limited resource. There's not a limited supply. It really does grow on trees. They print it all the time. Somebody's got to have it in their hands, right? I mean, I think about it that way. It's interesting because it wasn't until a couple years ago where it really honed in to me that I never worried about money. I don't know why. I've never worried about money. I know there's some people that worry about money, that are looking, always constantly worried. I have never until like recently, and something gets in your brain, but I've never, my whole life, I looked back, I had to kind of analyze, like, how do I feel about finances? And we just grew up like middle class, both of my parents worked, that's like was everybody, I think back then, in the 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. But I just always had what I needed. I mean, throughout everything, I always had just what I needed, and I never wanted for more. I was always satisfied with what I had, and I always had decent. It just never fazed me. I never worried about where my next paycheck was going to come from. I just knew that I was always going to be provided for. And I don't know how that comes into my brain mindset or not, but I know that my dad's always been just kind of a content person as well. So I was taught that money is everything, that you aren't good enough unless you're making triple figures each year. Ooh, that's good. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. I don't hear that. I don't believe there's an unlimited amount of money, resources, and creativity available. I like that. Yep. So that money's a tool to get what you want. Yeah. Good house, we didn't have enough. It was for greedy people. Okay. So whatever your concept is. So you aren't good enough unless you're making triple figures. So if you're not making, I don't even know. If you're not making $15,000 to $20,000 a month with It Works right now, then my guess is you probably feel like you're not good enough in this business. I mean, would that be accurate to say? Like, if you're not making that kind of money, does that affect you negatively in that way? But here's the other piece. You can change that mindset because you are good enough. I think if you're making, my math is horrible, $10,000, 120, there's 12 months. So you're not making 8 to 10, okay? So, but even if you're making 5 to 6, even if you're making $5,000 a month, you're making more than a teacher would make, a professional. So just kind of reframing those thoughts. So there is more than enough. It's not an item of scarcity. Here's the thing, they've done research, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but if they were to take, Pam touched on this, that if they were to take the money and they were to evenly distribute it across to everybody had equal share. Okay, we all have, $100,000, that's it, but we're all equal and that's it. Within a very short matter of time, the people that had more are probably going to end up with the bulk of the money again. Why? Because it's a mindset. Because the people that have the money feel that they deserve the money, they're going to work for the money, And they're just going to have that belief system. You hear about people that win the lottery all the time, right? They win this lottery and they win loads and loads of money. And then like 3 or 4 years later, they're broke again because they didn't manage it. But I think their internal clock or their internal thought process was just like, I don't deserve this money anyways. I got lucky and maybe had some fun, but I don't deserve this money. Why should it stick with me? So what do you think? Do you think money just, are you a good money manager, or does it just kind of flow through your fingers? I like to think it flows through my fingers because it allows me to help other people. You know, I've employed cleaners, I've employed nannies, I've employed people and put money in their hands because it comes through my hands too. And it always comes through my hands and I always have enough. So what you can do with this, which I thought was really interesting. Was this insightful to any of you guys to look at your big and your little you? Was it insightful? This is what you can do with it, is you can take this little you with all your negative words, your fears and your doubts and your insecurities. Go ahead and add to them if things are popping up to you. And you can sit in this for a little bit if you need to, or you can look at it and you can deny it. You can say, that's not really me. That's not who I want to be. That's not who I'm going to be tomorrow. This is not where I want to live. I don't want to live in little me. I want to live in big me. And so you can take this and you can burn it. You can just tear it up, flush it down the toilet. I wouldn't do it if you have a septic system, but you know, whatever. You can do whatever you want with this. You get rid of it, okay? I wouldn't keep it if I were you, because you don't live here and you don't need this. See what it is, recognize it, and know that you don't have to stay here. This is where you want to be. This is what you want to add to. This is what you want to be reminded of every single day. Yeah. You can see. I mean, my gosh, mine is so sad and so awesome. She's not awesome, but look at that hair, girl. She's got big, I'm like, she's got nice hair. I even put like a couple brands just because I thought I just want to have some of this jewelry, but just different things. So looking at your check, here's the other thing too. Go ahead and put your check down here. If you're not happy with your check, put your check down here. And then look at the thoughts and the belief system surrounding that, because you are going to impact that. Now, of course, there's work required, okay? You're not just going to sit there, I want this, and you're going to repeat this to yourself every day, and then all of a sudden it's going to come to you. You got to put the work out too. But it is going to act like a magnet, okay? If you believe anything about positive energy in your subconscious mind and attraction, manifesting, all of those things, just the things that we put out is what we're going to get back. I mean, who do you want to hang out with anyways? Her. Who's going to be more fun? But that part is going to act like a magnet, and it's going to help double your efforts in what you're doing when you're sharing it with other people, when you're talking to other people. And so here's the other thing. Who are you recruiting right now? What are the type of people that are you bringing into your business? Are you bringing people into your business that are not signing up people? Are you bringing in people into your business that are kind of mopey and they're kind of like really scared and they're really fearful and they're really incapable? It sounds horrible to say that, but are they, what's the type of people that you're bringing into your business? That's also going to be a reflection of the place that you are now. And it was funny because it was kind of a harsh reality, but when she said that last night, I thought, oh, I don't feel bad saying it because they're not around anymore anyways. You're not watching the Zoom. I know that because you came in to this business for a second, because when I recruited you and I shared this opportunity with you or these people, they were probably direct reflection. I was probably scared. I need to finish my steps to success. I'm going to be a horrible person if I don't, those types of horrible thoughts that we have and we hold over ourselves. And so I'm probably going to attract a desperate, fearful, insecure distributor that's not going to go out and do the things that they're supposed to do either. I want to recruit from here because I also know I also know as my truth that I've always operated on in the past was, I don't need you, I want you in my business. You're not going to make or break me. Not one person is going to make or break my business, because I know that my business is contingent upon me and what I do. And when I'm operating from that place, I have people that come into me that are full of abundance as well. And those are the same type of mentality that I get. So look at that and think about the person that you want to bring into your business. You can even take it one step further, and you can get another piece of paper and you can start writing down the attributes of the person that you want. Okay. Who are you looking for? Who are you honing in on? Do you want to bring in, I'm an adoptive mom. And so, I could put adoptive moms. Like, I want to help other moms who are looking to adopt, because this gave me the financial resources to grow my family. Are you divorced? Are you younger? Are you college age? Are you older? Do you want older women? Do you want younger women? Do you want nurses? Are you in the health profession? Do you want influencers? Whatever you want, put that down. That's your target goal. Those are the type of people that you want. I want people that are witty. I want people that are fun. I want people that are adventurous. I want people that, whatever it is, that's really going to match for you. And then when you go out and you talk to people, go out with the attitude that you have on your big paper. Go out and touch the world with those attributes, with those personality characteristics. And so you're going to get up tomorrow morning. You got to make a decision for yourself tonight. Where do you want to live? Okay. Because when you get up tomorrow morning, you might feel like, oh my gosh, here we go. Same old day, Groundhog's Day, day in and day out. What do I have to do? How am I going to set forth? Like, it sounded really great, but I don't know how to implement it. That's when you're going to sit there and you're going to remind yourself that this is where you want to live, and this is where you need to live, and this is where you live. Okay. So some things that you can do for yourself. I'm just going to, I have found this other thing. I thought this would be super helpful. We're running out of time, so you can write these points down and then you can work on this exercise yourself. I have like notes upon notes upon notes in my iPhone, because whenever I see a good idea, I write it down. And that's what I want you guys to do. If you have a good idea, if you have a positive thought, write it down. Okay. Think about the person that you want to be and something comes to mind, write it down, put it down there, because you can always go back and visit it. So here's some of the things. This actually was a Millionaire Mindset Zoom that I watched a while ago. I can't even remember who it was, but and they talked about, do you experience scarcity or do you experience wealth and abundance? Where do you live? And it all kind of circles back to one another. So here's a couple things that you can do for yourself. 3 things that you can do for yourself in order to push yourself and propel yourself forward. Replace your old, tired, limiting beliefs with fresh, empowering beliefs. Okay. That circles right back to what Bruce Lipton says, right? Like, let's get into a habit of reminding ourselves of the person that we want to be. Okay. So I want you to think about some of these old, small me mindsets that you have, and how can you transform that to a positive, to a new you. So this is a universe of abundance, and I freely and joyously tap into that abundance. I know I can be and do and have whatever I desire. I'm an excellent, like, these are examples. You don't have to write these down. And I'll transfer these onto our team page, just this section. My money works hard and I work smart. I'm so happy and grateful now that I know there's always enough. Okay. So the goal is for you to write down 5 positive affirmations for yourself and speak them over yourself every day. Now, you can speak them over yourself every day. You can also voice record them into your phone. If you have an iPhone, you have voice memo. If you have an Android, you can get like a voice note. You can record yourself saying to yourself, these are the things that I want to repeat to myself every day. Money flows easily and abundantly to me and through me, whatever. And you can put that in there. So number 2, write a new script for your financial life. Write a new script. picture, I mean, Denise has said this millions of times. Cast yourself as like the leading role in your movie, in your life, right? You are the author. That's what's so cool about your life, guys. Stop being subjected to everything, right? Stop being passive. You are the author to your life. This is it. I don't know if you believe in reincarnation or if this is it. I don't care what you believe. If you think this is your one time around or you're one of many, you don't remember, and this is your only shot right now. Okay? This is it right now. This life right now with these children, with this spouse, with these friends, this is it right now. Decide what you want it to look like. Pick, choose. You do not have to let things just happen to you. You get to control that. So write it out. What's your perfect day look like? You wake up where? How? What? Where? When? Why? You know? Like, what do you do? I mean, do you get up and does your nanny start at 7:00 and they get your kids out of bed and feed them breakfast and you get up at 8, you sleep until 8, and then you do your meditation, do your dream life journal? What do you do? Or do you get up with your kids and you have all morning with them, and then your nanny comes with you to the beach so that you can read a book at the beach while you still get to play with your kids, but you have extra eyes? I don't know. What does it look like to you? Now, this is a step that I've done before with my team for groups is take that life and voice record it. And you have to listen to it every day. This is what I made my team do for 30 days when they were in a special group with me. We had to record what our dream day was. And we had to record it into our phone and listen to it every day. And it's a bit awkward at first, but you know what? I'll tell you what it reminds me. It reminds me of the things that I said that I wanted for myself that I maybe haven't held myself to. Okay? I haven't told the line with it. And so write out your perfect day. Don't forget to include your income. Okay? Don't forget I paid off X amount of debt. And always speak it in present. You know? Don't say I'm going to pay it off. I paid it off. It's done. It's finished. Because your brain doesn't want to hear I'm gonna, because guess what? I'm gonna never, that day never comes. Okay? So I did. It's finished. It's over. I paid it off. And then 3 that was on here, which I think is really ironic, keep an abundance journal and record every penny that comes to you. We could even say get Denise's Dream Life Journal and start journaling in that, right? So have some sort of a journal, an abundance journal. I actually had a 1,000 gifts. I did a 1,000 gift study, and that the goal is to write 1,000 things that you're thankful for. I'm a very anxious person when it comes to travel or leaving my kids. And so when I got started with this business, I hadn't traveled much. And so I keep my journal with me. It's on my shelf. I know exactly where it's at. And I bring it in the airplane with me. And when we take off, because I read that that's one of the more iffier times, is when take off. And that's when I get really anxious. And that's as soon as we're getting ready to take off, I get my journal out and I start writing all these things that I'm thankful for. And I add to it. And it calms me, and it reminds me, A, who's in charge, not me, and B, that I have things that I'm thankful for regardless. There's some things out of my control, but there's other things that are within my control, and I can work within those parameters of those things that I control. So an abundance journal, dream life journal, something to that effect would be super helpful. So those are 3 things that you can do for yourself to push you forward. Now, tomorrow's going to come, or Thursday or Friday, and you're going to get some objection. You're going to let doubt creep in. You're going to look on Facebook. You're going to look on Instagram, and you're going to see somebody else's perfect contrived picture, or their perfect words, or their perfect accomplishment, and you're going to start beating yourself up. And that's when you're going to pull out your purse and you're going to remember, I live in this place, okay? And because other people can have success doesn't mean that it's going to be taken from me. Other people can have success, and that means it can be mine too. One of the things when I started this business was I knew Denise was she's my sponsor, if you don't know. But she, when I sat down with her, I gave myself an extra year to make the amount that she was making at the time. And I said, my goal was $20,000 a month. And I wanted to do it within 3 years, right? Yeah. And I wasn't jealous of the fact that, because at the time that's what she was making. I wasn't jealous of the fact that she was making that kind of money, and I wasn't making that money at all as a teacher by any means. But what it did was it set the precedence for me, because I knew that one person was making money, so other people could. Okay. And that's where we need to start thinking about that. So if we see other people doing good stuff, we say that's awesome for them, because now that it has paved the way, I can do it too. You know, it doesn't prohibit me. It doesn't put me in a place of lack. It puts me in a place of abundance. So those things are going to happen. It's going to happen to all of us because we're human. And so what is your plan of attack? Where's your mindset? Are you going to pull out your voice memos that tells yourself that I am worthy, money flows easily, freely to me? What is it? Think about what you're going to do. If you're going to listen to your voice memos, if you're going to get into your abundance journal, if you're just going to pull out your pretty picture. I don't know what it is, because it's got to be personal for you. If you're just going to recite to yourself those 5 positive affirmations to yourself, and you're going to tell yourself, I don't want you to just see it. I want you to hear it. I want you to hear your voice, or I want you to say it out loud to yourself. Okay? Because I want you to be an active participant in those things. So know that your energy flows where your attention is. You know, wherever your attention goes, that's where the energy is going to flow. That's where the action is going to come from. That's where the money, the abundance, the vacations, the people that are surrounding you, good friends, all of those type of things, all of those things are going to surround you and match energy for energy. So what are you going to put out? So that is it. Does anybody have any questions, comments, anything that kind of stuck out to you? I have this quote, which I thought was really good. Not really a quote, but it was from another. Again, I listen to these Zooms in my car, and I just listen to them instead of radio. And then if I get to a stoplight, I might pull up my voice memos, and I'll just voice memo what I heard, you know? So I have all these different like hodgepodges from different videos. But somebody had said, you get to filter what goes into your mind. And if you don't program your mind is going to be programmed for you. Okay, so again, be active in it. So turn off those things that can contribute to your fear, tune out negative people, and listen to things that are going to empower you, and recondition your mind. Own yourself. I loved this. Own yourself. Guys, we can't have a victim mentality. You can't be a victim and a victor at the same time. I wrote that in my bathroom wall, and it reminds me, you can't be a victim and a victor at the same time. So when I feel like whining, like it's not fair, I don't understand what's happening, I realize I'm being a victim, and I can't be a victor. I can't be a leader of the people if I'm a whiner, because that's putting me in victim status. Own yourself. You are the authority of your emotions. Life changes the moment that you accept 1,000, it could be 1,000% responsibility that you are in charge of your life. Okay? And this is what it said, response-able. Not responsible, response-able. You get to choose how you respond. So you get to choose your output. So there you have it. Thank you guys for popping on. I do have it recording. I'll get the recording up in the team page. And I'd love for you guys to share on the page how it's affecting you, and maybe hopefully having some really good changes. But we're halfway through the month, guys. Can you imagine how much can get done with this? This person can do so much. This person can do like 30 days of work in 10 days. And so I'm super excited to live this. So, all right, guys, have a great night. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, my mouse isn't working.